Yo, it's your boy Marcus and Morsini back with a video. Today we're going to be talking about Undead Siege and basically doing an overall overview of it and covering, why I think it's terrible, some of the community questions that I've gotten and why I even made this video, plus the overall mode as a whole, what we have in it, what it brings to the table, what makes it fun, what makes it suck, more replayable, everything of that nature. That being said, feel free to hit that like button and let's dive in. So the main thing that made me do this is actually I put a poll up on do you enjoy Undead Siege? Because I made a video, probably I think it's my second most watched video actually, is why COD Mobile Zombies failed. And people were giving their opinions and why they don't like the zombies mode in COD Mobile and all that stuff. But I saw a lot of people saying that they actually enjoy Undead Siege, because I mentioned in that video a little bit that I don't like it. And man, I'm super surprised that people actually do enjoy this mode as much as they do. I feel like I understand part of why, but this seems like one of the most casual game modes ever, because here's how it works. There's three modes, right? You have casual, hard, and nightmare. What you're seeing here is nightmare. This is the most difficult one. I believe you have to survive an extra couple of days more than casual, and the bosses are a lot harder. There's a lot more of the boss zombies rather than regular zombies, and it's just a much more difficult experience, which kind of leads you into understanding how the actual mode performs and what you need to do to survive, right? Because there are a ton of boss zombies coming in to destroy your little warehouse. So you're kind of wondering is there a story behind this mode? A lot of COD zombies on console is story based, right? There's a lot of story there and lore and stuff like that. Whereas here, you're basically just defending Dr. Richtofen on the warehouse as he tries to solve whatever puzzle he's trying to solve. And you have to do that for 7 days, right? That's a lot of time. Y'all may not realize this, but right now, I came into this game on day 3. I played 27 minutes. That's how long, this is cut down. I have it sped up. But it was a 27-minute long game, and I didn't even get here when it started. So it just kind of shows you how long these games are. These are 30-minute games. So you could play 2 in an hour. These are long. Which in one way is actually good. There's a lot you have to do. There's a lot to do. It's fun. It's enjoyable in regards to the actual learning of this game mode. I feel has been fun. I've been playing the crap out of it. I've probably put in a solid 3.5 hours of gameplay into this mode in the last couple of days, and that's way more than I've put into it in any other time, because I just simply didn't enjoy the mode like that. And I feel Nightmare helps. I don't remember when they put Nightmare in. I feel it was just casual and hard for a bit, and now with Nightmare, I think that adds. It seems like it's a little more difficult. And as long as you have teammates that have some idea of what they're doing, it makes it a lot easier. And with the story, I kind of want to add in, if you want to unlock Nightmare, I ran into this problem before we got into this game. That's why I didn't play with any more friends, is that you have to complete the easier modes in order to unlock it, apparently. I did that a long time ago, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I think you do have to complete the casual and hard to unlock Nightmare. And in order to unlock hard, I believe you have to beat the casual. So that's good. You know what I mean? It gets kind of people into the mode and what they might need to do. In order to beat the casual, I don't even think you need to build a turret. I think you could literally do it with your gun. But I do think that it is helpful to have the turrets. Once you get into hard, and especially in Nightmare, you need the turrets. And that kind of leads me into the turrets and what makes them so good. Right, so you have your base turrets, and we'll take a look at it when I pop them up on the screen, because later on in this game, I'm literally going to be staring at it and figuring out how to adjust them, because there are so many options for how you build your turrets, and that's one of the best features of this mode, right? Because actually in Nightmare, if you're not using turrets, you're not beating it, right? Doing it with straight guns is actually probably really hard. It's probably doable, you know what I mean? You get your... Here you see me pack-a-punching the MG42. You probably just work on that and get that upgraded, and just keep buying the War Machine and the Death Machine and the Goliath or whatever, and you could probably knock it out. You know what I mean? But it will be a lot harder without the turrets, because the turrets are insanely good. Even like the worst one's really good. You know, they're all good. So some of the ones we have, just the max versions: the heavy sentry 3, the cannon 2, laser 3, thunder 2, double grenade 2, missile 2, fire grenade, and tar grenade 2 and 3. So those are like the maxed out versions of them, and they're pretty awesome. I wish there was more animation for like what they actually do when they hit like the zombies. Like, you know what I mean? If the target grenade 2, it just seems like they shoot and they go and they land, and you'll see them land. But like that, if there was like tar all over the ground or fire everywhere, you know, the missiles actually shot like a big old missile out. You know what I mean? It just looks like they're shooting the whole time, but you don't actually see anything other than like the projectile, and it hits, and that's it. So I kind of wish, you know, there was a little more animation there for how much time they probably put into this mode. That being said, I do love that aspect of this mode. The turret upgrading is a very fun thing, but it's to the point actually in this mode where the turret's the main thing. You know what I mean? It's not actually, you could actually beat this without like using a gun. You could do this with only your melee, right? So you would just run around. So let's say you get in the game at the start. You can beat the first round with your melee every time. You don't actually need to do anything with the turret or do anything. You could literally have a melee, just melee them as soon as they come across, because the melee is so strong, and then go melee the actual warehouse to add HP to it. Like if I melee that orange thing that I'm defending with the Richtofen on it, you will add health to it, and in turn that will, like that, you could do that while they're hitting it, so it'll just keep going up. And you'll see me probably do that right here. See, I'm increasing that health. Super helpful. It's nice to have a full health bar, and somebody might as well do it while we're here. So one of the things about the turrets here is the placement of them. I would definitely keep them close to the warehouse. I wouldn't put them out here where I'm standing now in terms of the circle, because the zombies will get there first and they'll just destroy your turret. You know what I mean? Or they'll put it out of commission, then you gotta keep going to fix it, and it's not actually putting out the damage output that you want. Also, would be a huge learning curve for this mode to understand what the best turrets are. That's probably one of the best things. I think what makes this mode 99% of the time, I feel like when you play this mode, you're not playing with people who also know how to play the mode. So, you know, it's not like they're going to be like, hey, I'll grab some flames mods for you. You'll see me right here. Like, I was looking at all these mods and stuff, and I was like, I don't know which one do I need for my turret, which one would be the best suited for me going forward. And I didn't know, because I don't know the whole chart that they have for your turret upgrading. They don't tell you what you need for your next upgrade. They just tell you what you need for your current upgrades, right? So I'm going to upgrade it, because I have a very base sentry right now, as you can see in the top left corner for one of them. I'm going to upgrade it, but I don't know what's next. You know what I mean? So it would be helpful to know that. Even if I did know what's next, then I got to find it. So it can be kind of annoying in that regard, just like not really knowing what pattern to progress. But that's also part of like learning this game mode. If you actually really wanted to grind this out, you would just have that memorized. Like, hey, I can go for, I don't know, I got a bunch of grenade mods, so I could go for the double grenade 2 turret. You know what I mean? And how that works. You know what I mean? If you have a bunch of flames mods, then you can go for the fire grenade 3. So that's pretty dope. And I got a couple of turrets like almost fully upgraded. Once you get to the fully upgraded part, you actually need a lot of mods, which makes it more difficult. You know what I mean? That's where it helps to have teammates who also have some that they've been picking up along the way, as like everybody's on the map just scavenging for as many mods as they can get. That way when they come back for the new round, everybody's just like diving in there, just fixing up their turrets, building new ones. You know what I mean? And the turrets do so much work. You know what I mean? You could literally, like, if you have your turret game on point, you could just stand in the middle with a melee and not do anything. You could just watch all the zombies die. It's like that level. Like, you can be that good at this mode, and that's great. I do think that makes this mode a lot better. Now, what does that really entail? That means you're just gonna kind of not be playing the game. It's, that's just part of it. Now, that takes a lot of time to get to that point, but I feel like that's kind of how this mode is. I feel like that's very boring, honestly. I kind of want to talk about some of the zombies and their like mechanics and how they perform. So you have your basic zombies, right? As you see here, you have your igniters, necromancers, dogs, and hounds. Like they're both the same, but you've always called them dogs. The heavy gunner, which is that big dude back there in the back. Generally, in most of my games that I've played, I didn't have people who knew what they were doing. Our random teammates here knew what they were doing, so they put up some absurd turrets, and we were able to handle the heavy gunner with no problem. But other times, that heavy gunner can be a legit problem because he eats bullets, so there's no point in shooting him. Like, you have to have the turrets because that's the only thing that can really damage him like that. And then you got the warden, the pulverizer, the belcher, the hazmat, and the special enemy that you'll run into every once in a while, which is the butcher. So the butcher is the same guy that was on the isolated BR map in the farm area. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day where you would go to that special section in the farmland and you would fight that dude, and once you killed him, you would get your special mods or extra kinetic armors or a tempest or whatever. But he's also on the map, so that's kind of like a side boss you could deal with in the off time, right? So like right now you would consider this on time because I'm actually fighting off day 4 wave of zombies, right? But once I finish this in a minute and 10 seconds, then you'll go to the off time, I guess you could say. And I guess the all time would just be called the daytime. Yeah, my bad. The daytime, and then you would be able to go find the butcher somewhere on the map and destroy him. So that's great because then you get a bunch of mods for that. And that's super helpful, and that makes it a lot better. Plus, doing that with a team, you'll get that done a lot quicker, and then y'all can get back to going and finding packages and getting as many mods as you need to build the turrets. That's why one of those things with this mode, I feel like I feel like I noticed this more in this specific game is because the other teammates knew how to build turrets too. It made it way easier for me to like play the game. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really have to do much because all the turrets were so good that the other guys were building. You know what I mean? I had a teammate, I think, with 3 maxed out orange turrets, right? I only have 2 purples, but the 2 purples are good. Like, they do enough work to sort of make up for, like, whatever. I mean, having 2 purples is pretty good. I mean, as long as you don't have any like blues aren't going to be enough to really put out the damage you want. But once you get to purples and you can start like getting them to their final upgrades, which are all the ones I already named in this video, that actually does like insane damage. But one of the things I don't like how long this game mode is. It's so long. I just don't feel like I'm needed as much. Like, in this specific gameplay, I'm running around the whole time because I actually, I want to play the game. But I feel like normally I would actually like just go AFK in like the mid rounds and maybe kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like this could get really boring. And I felt that in some of my other games. But I also felt like in some of the other games, if you don't have 4 people, that's also a problem. I feel like that's just a problem with this mode, the zombies mode in general, is like you'll queue in, solo queue, and you won't even get 4 people, like 4 real people on your team. You know what I mean? You'll just be there with 2 people. Trying to compete Nightmare with 2 people is pretty tough. You know what I mean? They got to know what they're doing, and then it's a lot more work. So it can be a rough ride trying to do it with 2 people. But overall, I do think this mode, it's not for me. I'll say that. It's not my type of mode. I've always preferred just a basic round-based zombies on a good map. You know what I mean? Like, not Shino Numa, that's garbage. I'm talking about round-based zombies on, like, zombies in Spaceland. You know what I mean? Like, I just love that experience and how much fun that is. Raven the Redwoods, I'm a big IW guy, obviously. 9, Ancient Evil, Garag Crovey, you know these maps. So anyway, I definitely have had some fun playing this mode. I'm actually might play a little more so that I can get the tier 80 on the pass and then get the special, I believe it's a Nikolai turn character. I think that's just the overall W for not just Undead Siege, but like the actual zombies mode as a whole is that battle pass. I wish they'd updated it more, give me more of an incentive to come back to zombies, but it has a lot of really good skins, like all of the Dark Matter series that's in there for the Swordfish, M13. Then you got the dope turn skins like Nikolai. They might have a Takio or Richtofen or Dempsey. I think they have a Dempsey, which I already have. So I feel like, I don't know, this is just a fun casual mode to play with people, and it doesn't really take like too much skill. A little bit of knowledge needed, but you don't have to have like gun skill or anything like that, like ranked. You know what I mean? You're just shooting zombies. Don't even have to aim down sight. You know, it's overall a lot of fun. I do love the Pack-a-Punch being in here. That's great. Especially for a gun like, you know, I want to see how good this MG42 is in zombies, and it's honestly a ton of fun to use in zombies. So I highly suggest. And I think it might be one of the better bullet weapons in zombies. The only place it's not that good in is multiplayer, but we can have that debate another day. People seem to disagree with that. But yeah, the mode as a whole, definitely enjoyed it. I do like looking through these like turret upgrades. I think they have like nice dope names as well, like, I don't know, Tar Grenade 2. You know what I mean? That just sounds kind of cool. I like tar grenades. That sounds dope. You know, fire grenade, double grenade, cannon, laser, thunder. You know what I mean? Those kind of sound like they're gonna put out some damage, and that's dope. That being said, I do enjoy the zombie variety from like the zombie variety and bosses are definitely better than what we have on Shino Numa. I don't like boss spam and zombies though, but like for this is like essentially like a side fun game mode to the main zombies experience, which would be Shino Numa. And I feel like in this case it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Because you're not having to actively really fight these bosses as much as like in Shino Numa. Here, you're basically building sentry turrets so that they do all the fighting, and you can literally just watch. Overall, I think my main problem with this mode is it's not for me. You know what I mean? I think that's where most of my disdain for it comes from. I feel like, you know, I was basically just restoring turrets the whole time. You know what I mean? I wasn't actually like, oh, I need to build or I need to shoot zombies or like movement, skill, anything like that. I love zombies and I love that type of way. Like I love speed running and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun for me. I just feel like with this, that's not really a thing, and it's not like a mode that plays that way, so I don't enjoy it as much. That's kind of where I think that comes in. As you can see here, though, look at this non-pack-a-punch RPD. I'm hitting him for 10 damage to this zombie, to that warden right there. Kind of reminds me of using the MG42 in pubs or in ranked. That's pretty much all I got for this mode. Overall, I would love to hear y'all's opinions on Undead Siege after kind of hearing me talk about it and what this mode sort of appears to be. You have your perks. It's basically like normal zombies, but one of the things here that you might see, we have to stay in the circle at nighttime because of like the radiation. It's like the zone in VR essentially, and you can't go out of it. You'll start losing health and whatnot. Plus you got to defend this thing anyway, and everybody's gonna have their sentry turrets right here and whatnot. So I think this mode, you know, it's probably great for the super casual player. Absolutely, they probably love this. Me personally, it's just not something that I feel like I see myself consistently playing. The games are insanely long, and I feel like I can do a lot of this by not playing, really. You know what I mean? I can just put a couple of sentries up, make sure I get all 4 up, upgrade them with whatever I got, and that'll do enough work to where as long as I have one other teammate who knows what they're doing, you know what I mean, that we're kind of good. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this mode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate all the support on the channel and kind of what the future is of zombies. I have like a whole nother video planned to talk about what could be next for zombies, not only on COD Mobile, but on any mobile devices where potentially a new leaked COD Mobile zombies only game could come and maybe change the way things go on the mobile gaming scene. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It's been your boy Marcus or Morsini. I'm out of here. Peace.